All right, we've just started recording. Welcome everyone. I've got one person live with me, and if anyone else pops on, I'll welcome them when they come in. Otherwise, if you're doing this on YouTube, welcome. If you don't know me, I'm Aron. I am the program coordinator for Project SOAR, and that is the Veterans Program for Access of Wilmington, which provides adaptive sports and recreation for people with disabilities. So this is an adapted workout. I will try to give some different variations and options. If there's something that's just not working for you when you do this on YouTube, reach out to me, give me a call, leave me a message on the YouTube comments. Let me know what you need so that these workouts can work best for you. In fact, I've talked to one of our participants recently that's been practicing on YouTube, and she asked me if I could do a fully seated one. I'm not going to do that today because I didn't have time to plan, but look for that maybe next week when we do our classes, and we will do a fully adapted from the chair full body workout. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Today though, we're going to do another HIIT workout that has 8 exercises that we are going to do each one for 50 seconds with a 10-second break before we move on to the next exercise. We're going to do those 8 exercises all in a row, and then have a minute to rest. And then we're going to repeat that sequence 2 more times. So we're going to do 3 rounds. Before we get to that, we're going to do a little bit of a warm up and then some dynamic stretching just to make sure our bodies are ready for the workout. If you didn't know, I did the Wilmington Marathon last Saturday. So on Monday, I was keeping everything pretty low impact. We'll see how I feel today as we start to warm up. If I feel like I've got a little more ability to hop and stuff, I'll do that. Otherwise, I may choose the lower impact options, and you are always welcome to make those adaptations as you need as well, depending on how you're feeling on any given day. I think that's just about it. If you haven't already had a chance to warm up, we'll do a little quick 2-minute workout or 2-minute warm up. But it's gorgeous out for the first day of March. So if you haven't been out moving around in this, I hope you get a chance to go for a walk or a bike ride or something just to enjoy this gorgeous weather that we're having. On that note, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start my fitness watch so I can track my workout. And like I mentioned, we're going to start with 2 minutes of a warm up. I like to just break it up into 30 seconds of 4 different things to get my heart pumping. I'm probably going to try to jog it out. If I'm not feeling joggy, I might march it out. And then jumping jacks, high knees, and then squats. But you can mix that up any way that works for you. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. First 30 seconds. Not feeling bad. I might be recovering okay. Try and make sure that my head isn't getting cut off by my camera angle. There it is. Let me see if I can angle this up just a little. There we go. There we go. All right, that's better. All right, this first 30 seconds are almost up, and I'm going to switch on to jumping jacks. I don't feel like doing that typical jumping jack with the hop, so I'm going to do a low impact version, stepping side to side. If you are feeling like jumping, you are welcome to do that. You could also do a seal. Instead of bringing your arms overhead, you could bring them out in front, or you could bring your hands to your hips. Remember, there's lots of ways to modify everything that we do and make it work for wherever you are that day. That was our 30 seconds of jumping jacks. I'm going to do high knees. You could also kick this out or do some jump rope. Again, just important that we get moving, get our blood pumping, get our bodies warm before we start stretching and working out. All right, next I'm going to do some air hops. Some squats, air squats. If you want to add a hop here, you can. Again, today I'm not going to do that. But if you want to add a little spring, you're welcome to. All right, that was 2 minutes. If you feel like you need a little bit more, hit that pause button, do what you need to do to get that blood flowing, and then come right back in with me. I'm going to move on to our dynamic stretching. Again, just prepping the body and our mind a little bit for our upcoming workout. I'm going to go back to those squats, but I'm going to bring it in, let the feet get really close together, maybe even touch. See if I can keep my body upright, squeezing my legs together as I come down as far as I'm able to, and then press through my heels back up to standing. We're going to do 5 of these. This is a chance to kind of check in with all those joints, see how they feel. I think there's one more here. There we go. And then I'm just going to change this a little bit, take that out to about hips distance, and then do the same thing, nice and slow, with control, really paying attention to how this feels in my body. This is going to help me make decisions later on in the workout. And then 5 more, taking the feet out wider than the shoulders, toes wider than the heels, keeping that upright position, and lower down and come back up. This definitely feels better than Monday did. I was still pretty sore on Monday. 2 more. All right. Let's take this into either a side-to-side walk, or if you want to make that side-to-side walk a little more dynamic, you can take that into a squat as you move side to side. Let's go back and forth a couple more times. Once more to the other end and back. All right, I'm going to get into these hips a little bit. Get some movement there, see how they feel. I'm going to use my chair for some support. So if you have a sturdy chair or table, or even use the wall, just as we do this, because we're going to balance on one foot as we do this. And you could also do this lying on your side or sitting in a chair and having the other leg kind of hanging out. So there's different ways to do this. Again, I'll get a chance to show you all of these in the chair next week. But let's shift weight for now into that inside foot. If you're following me standing, we're going to bend the other knee and lift it up in front, and then open it to the side and bring it down in a circle and around. So exploring that range of motion in that hip joint. We're going to do that about 5 times. And then we're going to switch directions. And let's go ahead and keep that front leg and straighten it out in front. Flex the toes towards the knee and then kick back, squeezing the glute a little bit. And we're going to swing back and forth. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then with that front foot kicked in front, we're going to go side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. We're going to do that on the other side. I'm going to move my chair around. And we'll do that same sequence on this side. So letting the weight shift to the inside foot. Let's pick up the other knee, open it up, down and around 5 times. And then let's switch. All right, let's straighten out that leg and swing it back and front 5 times. And side to side 5 times. All right, great job. I'm going to move this back out of my way. And let's think about doing some circles in our shoulders. In the past, I've shown you how to do that either with your arms at your sides or hands on your shoulders or extended. You're welcome to do any of those. But if you do have a strap or a belt, this is also a nice way to do a shoulder stretch. Bring it out pretty wide in between your hands and then go up and back. So just another option if you just wanted another way to rotate through those shoulders, using a little bit of kind of dynamic tension when you're pulling that strap or belt from either side. Again, this is just one of many options. So do any of those options like we've done in the past, or if you wanted to try this, you could. If you're making those circles without the strap, go ahead and switch directions. And again, you can do any of those options. Let's do a couple more breaths, whichever variation we're in. And then we can release that. We're going to do some side bends. You can keep your hands at your sides. You could reach one arm overhead or both. And you know what? Since I have this strap, I'm just going to do that as an option. I'm going to lift my arms with my hands on the strap and do a side bend. So again, just different ways. Let's try the same thing. Inhale back to center, exhale other side. Go ahead and go at your own pace, side to side. Or if you want to hold on one side for a couple breaths before moving on, you are welcome to. Let's go ahead and make sure we've come to both sides evenly. And then return to center. And then the last thing we'll do for our dynamic stretch is just stretch out around our neck and shoulders, and then we'll get started on our workout. So for the next stretch, I'm going to let my right ear just fall towards the right shoulder. I'm not even going to use any pressure. I'm just going to allow gravity to do some work here. And then if you want, you can either gently tip your chin down towards your shoulder or rotate it up towards the ceiling. And you can do that as a movement. Or again, as you're moving, if you find there's one place where you're feeling a particularly nice opening, feel free to stay in that spot and take a few breaths. And then you can move on whenever you're ready. And then after this next exhale, let's go ahead and let our chin come towards the center, right towards our chest. Again, not with force, just allowing. And then when you're ready, we'll take the left ear to the left shoulder, noticing what we're experiencing on the right side of the neck and shoulder. And then again, you can stay in stillness, or if you want to rotate a little bit here, feel free to explore that range of motion. Don't forget to breathe. Maybe one more exhale, and then chin to chest, and then we'll look right back up. We're about to start our workout. You can do everything with just a little bit of space. You don't need to have any special gear or equipment. If you want to have hand weights, there are a couple opportunities where if you wanted a little bit of extra weight and intensity, you could add that. You could also use, for some exercises, one of these bands. I can actually get you some of these if you want some. So if you would like to have some of these, reach out to me and I will get you some. But if you don't have any and you don't want any, you don't need to. All of this can be done with body weight. So feel free to use that option if that's what you have and that's what works for you. Like I said, we're going to do 8 exercises. We're going to do some squats, some side lunges, some tricep extensions, a deadlift row combo, some hammer curls, some mason twists, which we'll do on the ground, and a bridge heel raise. So that's it. Really simple, but very effective. These will be the types of things that if you are on the ski trip or the climbing trip or any other of our fun excursions will help get you ready. And even if you're not doing any of those in excursions, these are the types of exercises that will help you get stronger, more flexible, more balanced, and just help you with your everyday functionality. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't have any music playing on my end because I don't want to cover up being able for you to be able to hear me. But if you want to play music on your end, feel free. Whatever motivates you to get that started. I'm going to start my timer, and we're going to start with the squats. And the squats are going to include a leg lift, and we're going to alternate side to side. So it's going to look like that. Could even use a weight. In fact, you know what? I think I'll do that. So we'll start in about 10 seconds. Go ahead and get ready. Three, two, one. Again, we're going to squat down, come up, side leg lift. And then same thing, other side. See if you can keep control. This can be challenging. I can feel this. I'm trying not to just drop that foot. For all you skiers, this is going to be great for that side to side movement we do on the skis down the hill.
Seconds.
10 more seconds with this exercise.
Rest.
10 seconds to get ready for the next, which is going to be a side lunge. We're going to keep it on one side. So I'm going to come over to the right and then press and come back up. You could use a weight in your hands if you wanted to add a little bit more intensity. You could even, add like a bicep curl or something if you wanted to add your own little combo here. I'm not going to do that today, but just showing you that there's options. I want to see when you come up out of that side lunge back to the center, really drive through that heel as you come up and notice how that activates that glute muscle. You feel that little squeeze as you press down through the heel. That's what we want to feel.
10 seconds.
Building that strength in our glutes is going to help protect our back.
Rest.
All right, 10-second rest, and we're just going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So you don't need to go anywhere. We're just going to take it the other direction.
Let's go.
Let's go. As you come down into this lunge, see if you can keep your knee over your ankle. If you find that your knee's coming way out in front like this, see if you can maybe take your stance a little bigger, or maybe you don't go down so deep. See what adjustment you can make to stay in good alignment here.
Halfway there.
Again, really driving through that heel to activate that glute on the other side.
10 seconds. Rest.
All right, 10 seconds to move on. We're going to do an overhead tricep. Again, you don't need to have anything in your hands. You could make a fist. See if you can pull those elbows in and then extend up. Targeting those triceps. And check in with how your body is here. Ground down through your heels, soften your knees, and see if you can avoid overarching your back. If you overarch your back, you're going to feel that in your low back. You might feel a little sore from that tomorrow. So see if you can pull your belly in
10 seconds.
and bring your rib cage down towards your hips a little so the back stays nice and long.
Rest.
Great job. I'm going to grab another dumbbell here. Again, you don't need to have anything in your hands. This is going to be a combo. So feet are about shoulder distance apart. Here we go. Coming down in that deadlift, hands are close to the front of the legs. Back is nice and flat. Drive through the heels, soft knees. Coming up. Oh, I forgot. Here, let's come back out of that deadlift. I forgot we're going to do a row here. Pull the elbows back and then back down. And then come out of that deadlift. There we go. So down to the deadlift and then a row while you're down here.
Halfway there.
And then back up. I'm doing this slow so that you can see the form, but if you can go faster with good form, you are welcome to.
10
This
seconds.
is your workout, so you can go faster or slower, as long as you're keeping that good, safe form. All right. Next, we're going to do hammer curls. Again, you don't need to have any weight. I'm going to keep holding on to these. So instead of
Let's go.
having the palms face forward, we're going to turn them towards our thighs. Here we go. Curling up and with control coming back down. Even if you don't have weights, I want you to imagine that you have something super heavy in each hand on the way up and on the way down. So we're going to keep that control in both directions, building strength on the way up
Halfway there.
and on the way down. You're doing great.
Ten seconds. Rest.
All right, go ahead and get ready to come down to the mat. Our last two exercises are down here. We're going to do a Mason twist.
Let's go.
So we are on our seat and tilted back, and we're going to twist side to side, pulling the belly button back towards the spine to keep the spine long. You can keep the feet on the ground, or you could lift them up if you were looking for some more intensity. I don't think I want to do that today. So I'm going to keep my feet right here.
Halfway there.
I'm already getting a lot of core activity. You could also put a weight in your hands if you wanted to. There's lots of ways to play with this one as well.
10 seconds.
10 more seconds.
Rest.
And then let's bring our back slowly, one vertebrae at a time, back to the ground. Walk our heels in closer. Arms long at the sides. We're going to press down through the heels to lift our seat, our hips, our back. Maybe tuck those shoulder blades in. And once you are steady, we're going to lift the heels and lower. Lift and lower.
Halfway there.
We're halfway through with this bridge heel lift. You could always walk this out one and then the other if you wanted to play with this. You
10
can take a
seconds.
break if you need to and come back in.
Rest.
And let's rest. We've got a minute to rest because that was the end of our first round. So feel free to get a drink of water, catch your breath, use the restroom. If you feel like your cardio isn't high enough, you can hop around and get your blood pumping, whatever you need. And we will start in about 35 seconds with our squats and alternate leg lift once again from the top. 10 more seconds and we're going to start. So I'm going to get in position.
Let's go.
Let's go. Coming into that squat, come up, side leg lift. And then we repeat on the other side at your own rhythm. Again, you could have your hands on your hips. If you wanted to use a weight here in your hands, you could. I did that the first round. I'm not doing it now. You could even have your back against the wall to help support you, or use a chair in front of you for a little support.
Ten seconds.
10 more seconds. And then we'll move on to those side lunges.
Rest.
All right, 10 seconds. We're going to move on to that side lunge. I'm going to grab that weight again.
Let's go.
And come into that side lunge, press through the heel, come back up. And I'm going to keep it on this side.
Halfway there.
We're halfway through on this side.
Ten seconds. Rest.
10 seconds, and we're taking it right over to the other side with the same exact thing. So go ahead and find your position, and let's go.
Let's go. Halfway there. Ten seconds.
10 more seconds.
Rest.
All right, we have 10 seconds to get ready for that overhead tricep extension. If you want to use a weight, or you could put one in each hand, or not at all.
Let's go.
Keeping those elbows in, knees soft, belly pulling back to the spine. And let's go. You could also do these seated.
Halfway there. Ten seconds.
10 more seconds. We're going to move on to that deadlift row combo.
Rest.
I'm going to grab another hand weight, but remember, you don't need to have those. You could have your hands in fists and do the exact same thing. Let's get ready.
Let's go.
So we're coming down into that deadlift. While we're here, we're going to pull those shoulder blades together, hug those elbows into the ribs, and then extend back, and then come out of our deadlift. So that's the combo. Feel free to take that as fast or as slow as you're able to keep that good form.
Halfway there.
Squeezing those shoulder blades together on that row, squeezing the
10
glutes
seconds.
to come up into standing.
Rest.
Great job. We're going to move on to those hammer curls. And remember, that's just, instead of having the palm this way, it's facing the thighs. That's the difference.
Let's go.
Just hitting that bicep from a slightly different angle.
Halfway there.
All right, we're halfway through these bicep curls. Our last two exercises this round are coming up, and they are both on the floor.
10 seconds.
10 more seconds.
Rest.
Great job. I'm going to take it right down to the mat and get ready for those Mason twists.
Let's go.
And let's twist it side to side. Yeah, I'm going to add a little pulse just to change it up. So side, and then halfway, and then pulse, back to the middle, to the other side, and pulse. So again, pretty much the same movement. Just changing it up for a little variety. You can do
Halfway there.
what feels best for you.
Ten seconds. Rest.
All right, let's bring ourselves down and get ready for that bridge. Lifting up. And once we are steady, let's bring in that heel raise and lower. So we're pushing down through the balls of our feet to lift the heels, and then slowly bringing them back down.
Halfway there.
If you wanted to add more of a challenge, you could reach your arms up to the ceiling just to reduce that little support that your arms are giving you. Or again, you can keep them right here. Lots of ways to play with these same movements, depending on what you need.
Rest.
Now we get 60 seconds to rest, and then we're going to do that whole sequence, that whole set of 8 exercises one more time. And then we get to cool down and rest. All right, get some water. Shake it out if you need to. And in 10 more seconds, we're going to start right back in with the squats and alternate leg lift. So go ahead and get yourself where you need to.
Let's go.
And let's go. See if you can keep your body upright, shoulders over your hips, spine nice and long.
Halfway there.
We're halfway through the last squat leg lift combo today.
Ten seconds. Rest.
All right. You're going to move on to that side lunge.
Let's go.
Let's go. Keeping it all on the same side. Check your form, check that knee that you're bending. Make sure that you've got a good angle between your hip, your ankle, and your knee. And then find the range of motion that works for you so that you're building strength to support that knee rather than damaging it. I want to try to make that joint strong, especially since so many of us
10 seconds.
have damaged them in the past.
Rest.
All right, we're going to take that to the other side in 10 seconds. Go ahead and get ready. Here we go.
Let's go.
50 seconds on the other side. Really grounding down through that heel as you straighten your knee to help activate the glute on the same side to move you up. Do you feel that?
Halfway there.
We're halfway through. This is our last side lunge today.
Ten seconds.
10 more seconds.
Rest.
All right, moving on to that overhead tricep.
Let's go.
Let's go. You know, I'm going to get rid of the weight this time around. There we go. That feels better. Still moving with control, so not swinging. Even though I've removed that weight, I'm going to imagine I'm still moving something really heavy on the way up and on the way back down.
Ten seconds. Rest.
All right, 10 seconds to do that deadlift row combo. I am going to use my weights for this one. Here we go. Coming down, squeezing those shoulder blades together, lowering, coming back up. At your pace.
Halfway there. Ten seconds.
10 more seconds.
Rest.
And we'll move right into those hammer curls in just a couple seconds. Here we go.
Let's go. Halfway there. Ten seconds.
10 more seconds for these hammer curls. I can feel this in my biceps today.
Rest.
All right, we're bringing it back down to the mat for those last 2 exercises for today's workout before we cool down.
Let's go.
And I'm going to keep that pulse because I just like the way that felt. Moving back to the center, and then the other side, back to the center. Keep pulling that belly button to spine, keeping the spine nice and long so that you can build strength in your core without hurting that low back.
Ten seconds. Rest.
All right, let's bring it down for that bridge with heel lifts. Last round, lifting those heels, lowering them back down, keeping those hips lifted. Your hands can stay on the floor, or you have that alternative of lifting them up towards the ceiling. I'm going to keep mine lifted because I think you just get a better view that way of the heel lift.
Halfway there.
We're halfway through.
Seconds.
10 more seconds, and then we take a little break and cool down, and then we're all done with this workout. You're doing great.
Well done.
All right, that is it. Take about 60 seconds. Do what you need to do in terms of getting a glass of water or anything else, and then we will cool down together. All right, about 10 more seconds, and then we'll start with our stretching. I'm going to start that now. So we'll start with that quad stretch. I'm going to do my version lying down. If you've been practicing with me with these workouts, you know you have other options. You could even take that strap to make a connection to the top of your foot or ankle if your hand doesn't make that contact. And if you don't have a strap and your hand doesn't make contact, that's fine. You can squeeze that heel as close to your seat as you can and try to drive that knee back behind your hip to get that same opening. So you don't need to have that connection. But if you can and it feels good for you, go ahead and make it. Let's take a few breaths here. And one more breath on this side, and then we'll take it to the other leg. Inhale and exhale. And then let's release that. I'm going to take it to the other side. Let's take one more breath here. I think we're about even. And then I'm going to show you something new today. A lot of times we cool down in this position where we have our lunge, and then we come back into that half split. You are welcome to do that. If you don't like being on that knee, remember you can do the same thing and come into a lunge and then straighten and fold. I'm going to do something different today, just to show you that there are other options. If you want to lay on your back, you could either bring your hand behind your thigh, pull that knee in, and then extend, and then soften, pull the knee in, and then extend. And again, if you have a strap or a belt, you could do that same thing with the strap around the ball of your foot, soften, pull it in, and then right through the heel, lengthen the leg as much as you're able. So we're doing the same type of stretch, and I've just shown you there are several different ways to do that same stretch. You could even do this seated in a chair and extend your leg out in front of you, and then bend it and pull it up towards your chest. So just lots of options to get that same muscle group stretched out and that same joint moved a little bit. Let's do one more breath here. And then whichever variation that you're in, let's just switch sides. So I'm going to stay on my back and then just do the same thing. But if you want to do this from a lunge, a kneeling lunge, from the chair without the strap, remember you have lots of options. Let's do one more. And then let's come out of this. If you're not already on your back, you can join me. Or if you're seated, you could do this same move seated. We're going to take our right ankle over our left knee and make sort of a figure four with our legs. And you can stay here just like this. This is already a really wonderful stretch. Another alternative is you can lift your foot up and bring your legs in towards you. If you're seated, you could bring your chest down towards your legs if you wanted to feel that. So again, it's all sort of the same shape. We just change the orientation of our body, but the shape is more or less the same, which means we're stretching the same things. If you have that foot lifted in this position, that also gives you a little freedom with that left leg. You could maybe bend it straight in the knee, or if you feel like you want some rotation through your ankle or foot, or maybe a gentle rocking side to side. We've had a pretty tough little workout today, so this is our opportunity to recover, let those muscle groups and joints rest and restore a little bit so that we can continue to get strong and flexible for all the fun things we want to do and all the things that we need to do with our daily life. If that foot is lifted, let's take it back down. I'm going to take my arms out in a T shape. You could also do cactus arms, whatever helps you keep your shoulder blades rooted down. And if you're lying down, we're going to let our legs fall over to the left. I'm going to shift my hips a little. If you're seated, you can still twist in your chair. Maybe grab the side of the chair or the back of the chair to help keep your spine long as you twist. Let's bring it back up through the middle. We're gonna switch. So I had my right over left before, and now I'm gonna put my left over right. Same thing, you can stay here, or you can do that little compression in your hip by bringing your legs closer to your torso. And if you have those legs lifted, let's go ahead and let them come back down. We're gonna do our twist the other direction. Let's come back to the middle. Uncross the legs. Let's come up to seated. And before we finish up, I'm going to have us do a variation of a mermaid stretch. So for the mermaid stretch, my knees are bent, and I'm going to take them to my left and let my feet come to the right. And then from here, you can kind of arrange whether you want your knees stacked or kind of staggered. I like mine staggered. So go ahead and make this work for you. And then we're going to take the left hand, the same side as the knees are pointed, and put our hand down and come into a little side bend. So finishing off with a little side bend here. And then let's bring that top arm behind the head, and we're going to do a little spinal rotation. So turning the body towards the floor, and then inhaling, opening back up to the ceiling. Let's do that 3 times. Exhale. Inhale to open. Let's exhale to twist one more time. And inhale back up. And come back up. And then we're going to switch the direction of our knees and do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and arrange those legs so that they feel steady for you. We'll take the right hand out to the side, little side bend. Take a couple breaths there. And we'll take that top arm right behind our head. Exhale, twist towards the ground. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. And back out of this. Come into any easy seated posture that feels good for you. Take a deep breath and let it go. And you are all done with today's workout. Great job. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you have any feedback, I love to hear it. It helps me make these workouts the most productive they can be for you to help you reach your goals. So I love to hear any feedback you have for me. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.